What's up, folks? I'm Dave Swift, and today I'm going to show you how to add a very professional yet extremely affordable live chat widget to your website. It comes with its own knowledge base. You can connect it up to AI, and you can customize it with your own colors and even white label it if you want to. This is HelpLoom. It's currently an AppSumo lifetime deal available for a one-time fee of just $99, a little bit more if you want to get white labeling and AI, but we'll go into all of that in a moment. Now, this deal is part of the new sale at AppSumo called The Deal Is Right. It runs through July 24th, so if you want to lock in the best pricing for this product or any of the other deals that are part of the Deal Is Right collection, get on it right away. Just yesterday, I published a video for Hyprcore, which is an excellent dictation application for Mac. Definitely go check that out if you're looking to type less on your computer. But today we are all about live chat and AI support for teams. This is HelpLoom. I'm going to show you exactly how to get things set up here. Now, you should know AppSumo sponsored this video, but they don't get to see my video before I publish it. They don't have anything to do with the actual review process at all. I'm going to be honest with you, tell you what I like about HelpLoom, and tell you what might need a little bit of improvement so you can make the best decision for your business. All right, of course, I've got a link down below so you can grab your HelpLoom account. One of the first things you're gonna see after you actually make the purchase is a setup screen that looks like this. You'll have to enter in your domain, where you wanna use it, and things like that. And then they'll dump you off to this screen here, where you have to copy this bit of code up here at the top and then put it on your website. That's really it. That's the only setup process to get things up and running for actual live chat happening on your site. So for my website, I'm using Ghost for my content management system. So I'm going to use the code injection feature of their settings. If you're on WordPress, you can use a code snippet plugin, or if you're on something like Squarespace, just go wherever you normally put like the Google Analytics code. It's going to live in the same area here. The important thing is it's in the site header. Then you just paste in the bit of code that you got from the initial setup, and you're basically good to go here. There is one more additional optional step that I'm going to cover because I feel like it's just a little bit confusing, especially if you're not very technical. So you can see step one here was to copy the code. Step two was to add the code on the website. We just did both of those, but there's a third optional step, and this will help you identify logged in users with HelpLoom's API. So if you want to be able to identify visitors who are returning, well, you're going to add this bit of code in here. You'll go back into your code injection or your code snippets, wherever you put the initial bit of code, and then you're just going to add this before the closing script tag so that it's all kind of bulked together like this. All right, that looks good to me. Hit save, clear your cache if you have one. If you're using Cloudflare, purge that, reload your homepage, and you should have your chat widget show up in the lower right-hand corner. And here is mine. So I can click into this and start chatting, which you can see I already did here. We can start a new chat. I'll go to my history, do new chat. I've got a little welcome message that I set up here. You can customize this with whatever you like. It's available with rich text, so you can add in headings and images. I just added a link to my email newsletter sign up. So if you didn't know, I've got an email newsletter. It goes out every Tuesday. Go ahead, and there's a link in the description here if you want to get signed up for that. But I digress. Let's get back to the live chat widget here. So I'll start a new chat, and then I'm just going to send a message and be like, hey, what's up? All right, here's my message. I've sent it in. And now over inside of HelpLoom, if I go to the inbox, I've got, hey, what's up from Dave right here. Now, one thing you didn't see was I'd already tried this out. So I've given HelpLoom my name and my email address. That was part of the initial conversation that I had. In fact, as soon as I engaged with the live chat widget, it said, what's your name? What's your email address? Fill that out and you're good to go. Now, if you're a human responding to customer support, this is exactly what you'll see. You can type a message here. There's formatting available. You can use AI Assist to help you respond to customers. Now, there is a certain limit on how many AI messages you can respond to each month, unless you pay a little extra. In fact, let's go over to the HelpLoom AppSumo deal page here. You can see unlimited AI messages is just $49. So that's a pretty reasonable add-on. And then if you want to white label it to remove any trace of HelpLoom to your customers, that's an additional $89. But there is no other license tiers. It's not like you need to move up for more messages per month. Everything is included for the 99 bucks other than unlimited messages and white labeling. We do get custom email domains, which is critical because so often you go and you get support from a company, but they don't have email set up properly. So it ends up going to your spam and you just think that company never replied to you. And what a terrible experience that is for a first-time customer. You definitely don't want to do that. So we'll look at the email setup here in a minute. Otherwise, in my inbox, I can just be like, how can I help? Now I'm going to send this as a reply, but I could also send it as an internal note if I wanted to document an interaction with the customer to clarify things, put it into the lingo that the rest of the team is going to understand. You can send it as an internal note here, but for now it's going to be a regular reply. Let's go ahead and hit send. And now over on my chat widget, I can see how can I help over here. Nice and professional, really good looking chat. No issues here. I can customize the colors, so let's go ahead and look at that right now. So back over in HelpLoom, we'll look at more of the inbox here in a moment, but quickly into settings and then over to widget, you can see all of your customization options over here. So you can choose which color you want, either with a color picker or a hex code. You can change that welcome message right here. It can be plain text or rich text if you prefer. You can set up an autoresponder. So if you want to have the first message after that initial engagement preset, you can write one here. I have it off for right now, but something very easy to turn on. If you bought that white label package from AppSumo, you check the little box right here. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Whether you want to, require people to give their email address or their phone number, that's all optional. We can also exclude the widget from loading on particular pages. Probably the better way to do this would be to just not put it on those pages in the first place. But if you're using something like what I did, the code injection feature on my website, that's just going to put it every single page that loads. So nice that they give the option here to exclude pages on their end. So kudos to the team for adding that feature in. Down at the bottom here, we can actually turn on the AI agent. Now, I'm not going to do that quite yet, but we will get there in this video. So those are the essential settings that I would say run through inside of the widget just to make sure you get the design right. The one thing I would love to see is maybe a different icon setting here. Having the question mark is fine, but I'm sure some people would like to have their logo or have a picture of a person's face. Really unusual, actually, that you can't customize that and you're just stuck with the question mark as the only option for the widget. Color is great, but also let me customize that icon. Jumping back into the inbox, we saw how the chat works, but now let's look at this sidebar over here. So a few options, they're pretty clear, but the status of the ticket, we've got resolved or unresolved. Then we've got our metadata for our customer, their phone number. I didn't give a phone number, so it's unknown. Their name, as well as the email address. You can assign it to a particular agent if you want to. The nice thing about HelpLoom is you don't have a limit on the number of agents. You get unlimited people that can work on your account. So that's quite cool. Then we can tag things here to keep things organized or archive the chat if it's all done. In fact, I am done, so let's get it out of the way. After someone chats with you on your website, they will show up inside of contacts. As you can see, my contact is right here. Now it says no chats yet because I archived that chat, so only active chats will show up in this window. I kind of wish it would give me a listing of active and archive chats so I could easily go back and see, what the history of this customer was, but this is how it's set up. There is a really good reporting section baked into this app as well. You get 5 different reports built in, response and resolution time. So you can click into this and see overall, how are we responding? How quickly are we getting back to people? There's also the option to see it on a channel by channel basis. So whether it's emails or widget, and then they break each one of those channels out into its own reporting section. Email right here. I've not gotten any email support requests, as well as chat requests. And then if you want to keep an eye on your people, you can go into company and user here and see how your actual employees are doing and how they compare to AI, as they will show up as a user as well. By the way, with reports, if you don't want to log in and check this manually, you can have it go out as a digest. Just head over to settings, reports, and then go ahead and choose which types of digests you want to subscribe to. You can even add in additional users here. So maybe someone who never logs into HelpLoom, they can still get info about how the support team is doing. Now, I know you're probably wondering, yeah, what about the AI component? I'm eager to get that set up as well. But first, I want to make sure that everything is running well in the old-fashioned way before I add in the AI element. So we can go under availability here and we can set up our business hours to make sure that people know when they might actually encounter a human if they like. I can also add additional team members right over here. We can invite, again, unlimited members. There's a role-based system, whether they're just a member or an administrator. Administrators can change more things than members. So if you're uncertain, just leave them as a regular member. And then we've got our integrations. So you can connect this up with Slack or with Help Scout. And very cool here, they actually have email forwarding. So you could set up a support address on your company website and then have the emails get sent into HelpLoom. And you can actually use this as your support desk. So kind of a replacement for something like Help Scout. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, custom email domains is a very important feature, and I'm so glad to see it included here. This is going to allow you to use your own domain when you're sending off support messages, so you're more likely to hit the inbox. So definitely head in here, configure your domain, give it a subdomain. So I'm gonna do something like HL for HelpLoom and then my actual domain name afterwards. So I'm using a subdomain here. I'll hit add and it's going to give me all of the instructions, what I need to update over on my domain name registrar. So I use Cloudflare. I just copy all this and put it into Cloudflare. Then I can send emails using my own domain name and not end up in the spam box. Now, I know it's very tempting to just head over to settings, widget, and then turn on the AI agent at the bottom of the options here and let her rip, let the AI do the job for you. But I highly recommend you take a few precautionary steps first in order to train the AI to have enough information about your business so that it doesn't promise things that you can't deliver. Now, the first thing I would do is go into the knowledge base. So there's a link right here, but it's going to take me to the same settings over here in the left. The knowledge base is essentially the training data for your AI. Of course, it's going to have general knowledge as well, but this will be information that it's going to supersede anything it finds on the web. It's specific to your company. So you could add in your sitemap here. So here is my sitemap. I'm going to have it process this in the background as I'm talking. You can see it finds a ton of pages. I only have 500 credits left this month, so I'm not going to have it grab absolutely everything, but I could find the most important pages and then process those URLs. By the way, you can have it refresh things automatically, so you can do it weekly or monthly if you like. The default setting is never. Now, one thing that I find irritating is that I only have 500 credits. I have more than 500 pages, and there's no way to say, okay, just select 500. Instead, I've kind of got to go through and whittle it down. I could either deselect them all and then choose the pages I want, but of course, that's going to take even longer. So instead, I've got to go through here and uncheck things until I get down to 500. Now, if you've got a smaller site, this isn't going to be a problem that you encounter, but it would have been something simple for them to fix on their end to say, select 500 or select the number, max out my credits. That could be an option to make sure that just the pages you want get parsed and put into your knowledge base. All right, I'm down to 500 now. I'm going to go ahead and add those URLs so that they start processing in the background as I show you the rest of the setup before you actually turn on AI. Okay, so this is going to be huge. It's going to have a ton of information based on the already published content on my website. Of course, I could add in text here or Q&A options if I prefer, but for my style website, just scraping the sitemap is going to do a really good job. But there's another feature here. It's called the Help Center. Now, the Help Center and the knowledge base might seem kind of confusing. Like, isn't that the same thing? Well, the knowledge base is not for customers. That's for your AI agent. The Help Center is for customers, and that's why it lives up here at the top as its own navigational item. Now, you'll have to turn on your Help Center when you first get your account set up. Mine's already on, but I've not added any information. This is essentially like a documentation page where you can add in helpful articles about using your software, your service, your product, whatever it is that people might need help with that they don't want to reach out to an agent. You can write self-serve articles here. So just go into articles and then hit add article, and you get a nice little editor here. You can write anything you want. So let's just go ahead and publish this so we can see what it looks like. I do need to add it to a collection. I'll just call it test and then hit publish. And then I can view it in my Help Center. So my URL for this is dave-swift.helploomdocs.com. And here's what it looks like. We get a nice little, was this article helpful option? My support widget shows up here. And then there is a table of contents and a search bar at the top. Overall, a pretty good documentation site. I can go back out to the homepage and see the different categories. You get the idea here. Now, if we just jump back into the knowledge base settings really quickly here, you'll notice there's a checkbox. It says Sync Help Center. This is great because now if you add to the Help Center, it's automatically going to become available for your AI agent. It gives you one source to update all of your information, and then the agent's going to have that latest information. You don't have to remember to copy and paste it into both places. I like that a lot. So I'm going to turn that on. You do whatever is right for you, but you can see it shows up here as a Help Center item as soon as I click that box. Now, before I turn on the AI agent over here in the widget settings, there's one more thing I want to show you, and that's the MCP component. This is very cool, especially if you're a little bit more of an advanced AI user. If you have Claude Desktop, or if you have a Hermes agent or an OpenClaw agent, you can use MCP to connect your agent into HelpLoom and actually respond to customers for you or to create knowledge-based documents. The way this works is you head over to the settings here, generate a token, make sure you scope it with the correct permissions. So in this case, I'm just going to allow it to do whatever it wants. And I can either choose suggest only or fully autonomous. So we're going to leave it as fully autonomous. I'll call this Lloyd test because my agent's name is Lloyd, and then I'll generate the token right here. It gives me step-by-step everything I need. Hey, tell it about this endpoint, give it the token, and then there's some other options that if you need to, you can provide it. But I found for my agent, when I just gave it the endpoint and the token, it was able to interact just fine. So here's the chat I was having earlier. I gave it a token, but I didn't give it publishing permissions, and it went ahead and wrote 9 articles for me. And then I told it, all right, you're on the video now. So here is the new token with the ability to write, and boom, it just like before I could even explain it, it created 9 new articles. So let's go check them out inside of the knowledge base. So here we are inside of the knowledge base, and these are the articles that my agent wrote right here. It's got aboutdaveswift.com, how to contact Dave, premium membership, newsletter, sponsorship and brand partnerships, all pretty good information here. All right, my knowledge base is slowly going through each one of the pages that I gave it. You can see that we've got quite a bit of information still to process, but I've waited long enough. Let's go ahead and turn this agent on and give it a go. All right, we've enabled the agent. I'll start a new chat here and I'll just say, hey, are you there? Sure enough, the agent is there, ready to help. Now I can ask it questions about anything, but it's only going to respond to what it has knowledge about. So I could say something like, give me a cake recipe. And it says it doesn't have a cake recipe, but it can connect me with someone who can help. Would you like me to do that? And I'll just say yes here. And the response is, thanks, I'm handing you off to a human now. Somebody will get back to you as soon as possible. Here's what the chat looks like from the inbox side of things. I would love if it was actually going to assign it to a human, but it didn't do that. Instead, it just left it in the inbox, which is fine. Someone would get to it eventually. But if it assigned it to someone, maybe they could have a notification set up and they would get to it a little bit faster. Overall, pretty good. Now I noticed that the Hyprcore article on my website is done processing. So let's ask the AI about that video and see what it thinks. So I said, I'm looking for a dictation tool for my Mac. What's a good option? And it said the dictation tool for your Mac is Hyprcore. So give a perfect answer here. And you can see it gives some highlights and even links to the product right here. It uses my AppSumo affiliate link. So kudos for that one. Of course, it's also got the dedicated article or YouTube video here as well. I'm pretty impressed with this. So that is HelpLoom. Overall, I'm very impressed with this tool. It works as advertised, and I think more importantly, it's got the right number of features. It's very easy to set up and get it to do what I want, but there's not so many options that I feel overwhelmed and it takes forever to get things configured the way that I need them to be. For just 99 bucks, it's gonna save a ton of people a lot of money that are paying monthly for things like a Crisp or an Intercom subscription where they might bill you by the user or by the AI credits. So 99 bucks plus the, was it $49 unlimited AI messages. That's definitely a bargain. I would jump on that while it's still available. Yeah, I definitely would recommend this tool. I'm gonna give it an 8.3 out of 10. Don't sleep on this if it fits your use case. Now, I've got a link below in the description so you can check that out there. If you want to shop AppSumo for anything else, you can also click that in advance and it helps the channel out. If you got any questions about AI, AppSumo, lifetime deals, hit me up in the comments. Hit like if you've enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want more videos like this. My name's Dave Swift. I'll see you in the next one.